I have seen a lot of people who say they wanna learn Japanese, they wanna learn French, or even Chinese, but they think it's hard to learn those languages. But I wonder what makes a language hard. I mean, is there any specific aspect of the language that makes it hard, or is it hard in general? Well, if you watch this video, you will find out the hardest part of learning some languages. But before, my name is Saunav. I love learning languages. So without any further ado, let's get down to business. Starting off, we have Arabic. Now, you might know it is spoken in a lot of countries. Due to the fact that it is spoken in a lot of countries, say from Morocco in the west to UAE in the east, it's got so many dialects, and they're not similar. Say a word in a particular dialect means something completely different in another one. And also, don't even get me started on its alphabet. It's a nightmare. You can never get the hang of it. It is so difficult. The letters change their shape based on their position in a word, and its pronunciation can be a little tricky if you are from North America or Europe, because a lot of sounds of Arabic do not exist in English or any European languages. Second, we have Spanish, and this one's my favorite. The number one difficult thing in Spanish is obviously verb conjugation. I think there's like 6 ways of conjugating a verb in a simple tense. To put that in perspective, in English you say I go, she goes, you go, and the rest is also go. But in Spanish, however, you would have to conjugate the same verb in 6 different freaking ways, and it makes it so difficult, especially for English speakers to understand that. And then third, we have German. Now, a lot of people debate that German sounds so aggressive, while it doesn't. But anyway, what makes German so insanely difficult is that its pronunciation also. Don't even get me started on its cases. It's got like 4 cases. That's to say, you modify a word into 4 different ways based on its function in a sentence. Fourth, we have Indonesian. Now, a lot of people on YouTube, on Reddit, on Discord say that Indonesian is very easy. And it is, but one thing can be so freaking difficult in Indonesian, and that is polite and impolite speech. You can never get the hang of informal speech, like the way they speak informally. Like there's maybe like 5 to 4 different ways to say I, the pronoun I. It is insanely difficult. Although I have made a video about Indonesian saying that it is easy if you only learn like the polite form, but that's completely nonsense. That's like learning how to speak English without learning the past tense. Japanese. You might know I speak some Japanese, and I can say it is not that hard if you don't go too deep into kanji. I mean, I have been too deep into kanji because I like them, not because I'm forced to learn them. So if you are forced to learn all those like in 2000s, maybe even more kanjis, it's a headache. Also, don't even get me started on what we call keigo. It is like the respective language, the respective form. And a lot of people might wonder what kanjis are. They are just some Chinese character that they stole over time. Each kanji represents a single meaning, a single word. So imagine how many words there are. You have to learn almost like separate kanjis for them. So that's what makes it a bit difficult. Korean. A lot of people say the alphabet, Hangul, is easy. And it is. But if you ask me about its grammar, you watching this video can never learn it. I mean, you can if you grind it. But anyway, mainly because it uses like polite speech, informal speech, and its tenses. Its grammar is it's just hard. And also, don't even get me started on its pronunciation. If you say one thing instead of other, they might slap you because you may mean completely different thing. Sometimes even bad thing that offend them. But anyway, it is hard. I don't know whatever number this is, maybe 6 or 7, but we have English, and a lot of people say it is hard, and I freaking hate them. Those who think English is hard mainly because of its grammar, because of its pronunciation, they are freaking lying to themselves that they don't want to learn English or any other language. A person who says that can never ever in this universe learn languages. They're just dumb. Have you ever seen the grammar of your own freaking language? How hard is that? And you are complaining about English? Shut the off. I mean, I might be so aggressive, but anyway, mainly because of its grammar, confusing words, pronunciation, like no one can ever tell me the difference between though and through. Due to all these facts, English is considered one of the hardest languages or at least these are some parts that makes it a bit hard. Now French, also known as la langue d'amour. French is notoriously known for having the hardest pronunciation because like most of the times you don't even pronounce half of the letters in a word. Its grammar isn't that hard if you are only learning French to speak, but if you try to write them, all of them sound the same. So mainly its pronunciation is what makes it a bit difficult. Now we got Russian. As you might know, I have talked about this several times. There's something called declension, or what I call nightmare, in Russian, which basically means you would conjugate the word into six different forms depending on its meaning, depending on its function in a sentence. I don't want to explain what that is to you, but it is what makes it a nightmare. It's not hard. Russian isn't hard. It's a whole nightmare. Это кошмар. Also, the pronunciation in Russian, PCGS, I can't even pronounce many words because they're so freaking difficult. Next, Portuguese. Conjugation can be a little hard. Spoiler, it's not that hard as Spanish. But anyway, the pronunciation of Portuguese can be a little tricky in the beginning. But yeah, there's nothing that makes Portuguese a bit harder. But it is, considering with Spanish, it is harder than Spanish, but it is not that hard. Polish. It is hard because of consonant clusters. Now you might wonder what that is. Well, they are just some consonant using like combined together, like saying like that. So it makes it a bit difficult for non-native speakers to learn. Also, that might be a word in Polish. I don't know. Danish. Now the soft d sound like can be a little hard. Although I don't know that much about Danish. Yeah, I have heard that the sound can be a little tricky, especially the soft sounds, soft d and blah blah blah. Also, its grammar can be a little tricky if you ask me. Hindi. Now, if you ask me what makes Hindi difficult, well, everything, because every noun in Hindi is gendered into either feminine or masculine, like every object. And unlike Spanish or French, there are not that rules. And also, I don't think there's enough resources to learn Hindi to like max level if you don't live in India. And then other factors like its grammar, and don't even get me started on its alphabet. Mongolian is difficult because of the cases. Ain't no one gonna learn Mongolian, so let's not talk about that. But anyway, its grammar, its alphabet, its pronunciation if you are a beginner, and also cases, of course, are what make Mongolian a bit difficult. But I don't think it's as difficult as other languages, but it is. And also, I don't think there's enough resources for that. Last but not the least, we got Chinese. So, what makes Chinese hard? What are you talking about? You should ask what makes Chinese easy. Well, you are right. Every aspect of Chinese language makes it hard. Mainly tones, pronunciation, the alphabet. Wait, does Chinese even have the alphabet? Let me explain. Chinese doesn't have the alphabet like letters, like English has like 26 letters, and you can form any words you want using those 26 characters. Instead, Chinese uses like thousands, even 10,000s of them, 10,000s of characters to represent each word, each meaning, each significance. So you have to memorize at least like 2,000 to 2,500 to survive. And also tones. Chinese has like 4 tones, and if you pronounce them wrong, you might mean something completely strange, something completely terrible that might piss off Chinese people, and you might end up your life in prison. Just kidding, Chinese people are so friendly, they won't do that poorly. Also, the shock factor of Chinese language is insanely insane. If you even say ni hao, hello, to a Chinese person, they're gonna freak out. Now, that's my POV about the hardest part in every language. And if you don't agree with me, you can do whatever you want. You can debate, you can like fight, you can do whatever you want in the comment sections. It's open for y'all. If you want me to make a part 2 of this series, I am open for that also, because like it's not possible to include like all 7,000 languages in just one episode. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you in another video.